Welcome back to another YouTube video. So we're back again on a Summer League match at Thorpe Fishery near Tamworth. So this is going to be my last video of my Summer League. There is one more match in the league, but unfortunately I can't fish it. So I have got a standing on that day, so clearly I won't be filming that one. But I'm going to show you how my day went on this particular match, give you a summary of how my summer has gone and how the league has gone as well for me. But let's get to it. So this is my peg. Now I have gone and drawn a peg. I made a video a couple of weeks ago on bomb fishing. It was really windy on the day, and it was actually the peg next door to this. So my idea is to actually fish very similar. Now I've got a feeder set up for that island, so it's a good 50-metre cast over to that island, so I do tend to fish on the corner of that, start that off. I've got a 30-metre bomb line, then I've got a 13-metre shallow line set up, and then I've clearly got my margins left and right. Now let's get to it. Hopefully I'm going to catch a few fish, and let's see how I get on. So we've just had the all in. I've just catapulted as well 2 pouches of 8 mils on the 30-metre bomb line. Going to be priming that for a good 40 minutes or so, and then I'm going to have a little look, see if there's anything on there. But normally I'd prime that for probably 2 hours before I go on it on this particular venue. The carp do tend to come on it later in the day. But we're going to start off on the feeder over on that island. Like I say, it's about a 50-metre cast, quite a long cast, and just fishing off the corner of that island. Now, when I started, when I was setting up, it wasn't that windy, but just as we, like always, just before we get the all in, the wind picks up. So it is a bit of a tricky cast. Also a bit difficult trying to sink the line there. One, trying to stop the getting a bow in that line, or too much of a bow into the cast and the wind taking the line, and then trying to sink it. There wasn't much water where my keep nets are. I had roughly 12 inches, so trying to put the rod in the water and sink that line just took a little bit longer than normal, but that's the way it is. So we fished this line now for about, I think I had 6 casts in total, fished it for about 35 minutes. I didn't get any indications, no takes, but I'm not going to show you the rest of that particular session on the feeder, but there wasn't any carp on it, so I'm now going to swap and have a look on that bomb line to see if there's any carp. So we swapped to the bum line. Now I've been fishing it for about 15 minutes. I'd had 2 line bites, so I knew there was some fish either around on that 30-metre line, or they're a little bit closer up in the layers. So trying to work out where they are, but I wanted to persevere on this bum line. But we're just going to zoom in a little bit, and you'll see the tip. It goes round. It's really difficult to try and do these videos and show you this type of thing, but managed to zoom in there. Look, tip goes round, and we're into our first carp on that 30-metre bomb line. So we're going to play this one. So it wasn't a big fish, just going to jump ahead a little bit, try and get to the netting stage. Like I say, it wasn't a big fish, but it was the first carp of the day, a little bit of confidence. So I was probably about 45 minutes into the match now, or thereabouts, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Angler, 2 down for me. I think he definitely already had 1 carp, possibly 2, and he was fishing shallow. And the guy next to me, you can see, he's also now gone out on his pole. He was fishing shallow, and I believe he also just kept swapping as well from shallow to bomb line. So very similar techniques to myself. But like I say, I did a video on bomb fishing a couple of weeks ago on the peg next to me on my left. So go and watch that. Have a look at the description on this video. There'll be a link in the description to that particular video that I did, bomb fishing with pellets. So have a look. So just trying to get this one in. Keeps trying to just go around the back of those nets. And he keeps doing a run. So I've got my clutch set. You can get some really big fish in this venue. You really do need to loosen up on that clutch, because when they want to go, you've got to let them go. You can get some double-figure carps. Plenty of them in here. More often than not, you catch them around the sort of let's say 5 to 7 pounds. But this one is a small fish, probably around the sort of 3.5 to 4 pounds. There we go, we get him in the net. And we're going to hold him up just for you guys, have a quick look. There we go, nice little carp, start the day. And we get him in the net.
Hey guys, hopefully you're enjoying these free videos. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please do go and subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button. It's free and it's easy and it only takes about 2 seconds. It's a massive help, more than you know. Also, don't forget to drop the video a like, give it a thumbs up, and at the end of the video, if you can spare 30 seconds, please do go and leave a comment. Just let me know what you like about the video. Let me know what techniques you use. But thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the main video.
So I carried on fishing the bomb line. I think I had another 20 minutes or so on this bomb line. I had a couple of more line bites, so there's definitely fish about, but I felt like the fish were actually closer, not really on the bomb line, even though I'd already had that one carp. I felt like the fish were probably just closer to me and up in the water, which is why I was getting the line bites. So I gave this one, like I say, about another 20 minutes. I didn't get any more takes, and then decided to rotate, swap lines, and come in and go shallow. So I just swapped over to the shallow rig now, fishing at 13 metres, slapping it in 2 or 3 times. Now I've been fishing this again for probably about 10 to 15 minutes had gone by. I had one swirl in the swim, but there was nothing. I think it was just a passing carp. Really couldn't get anything going on here. Nobody was really. I mean, angler couple up from me. I know he'd had a couple fishing shallow from what I could see. Angler next to me, I don't believe he'd had any. And also angler on my right, also I think went shallow and didn't get any either. So it just wasn't going to be one of those days. It didn't feel right. So, but I did give it probably about 30 minutes. Catapulting some 6mm over the top, but nothing produced. So again, going to go back out on the bomb line where I felt like that was going to be the place to catch fish on this day. So we came off that shallow line and back out on the bomb. So we've been fishing now for probably close to 2 hours. Only had one carp. Not many people were catching around me. Angler, again, 2 doors up, 2 pegs up from me. He'd had a few carp, probably 3 or 4 carp. Angler next to me, I think he might have had one. Angler on my right, he probably only had one as well. So it was a little bit slow. The wind was picking up as well, like I say, throughout these first 2 hours. And that was also making it tricky, and I felt like, you know, trying to fish shallow was really hard on the pole, trying to hold it, trying to cast out at 50 metres and stopping that wind from bowing the line and taking the line. That was also a bit challenging. This bomb line was going to be the place to be, is how I felt, or in the margin. But there we go, look, we catapulted some 8mm over the top. I think by the time they hit the bottom, we got a take and we got our second fish on. So I have been fishing the bomb quite a lot this summer. On some of my videos, some people have said or left comments saying, why don't you fish the feeder more? This particular venue, because I've been fishing it a lot because of the summer league, it is more of a bomb venue rather than a feeder. So hence that's why I do it. Sometimes you can catch on the feeder over a bomb, but you know, you got to pick what you're doing on the day and to go with what you're comfortable with. And I felt certainly on this particular day, because of the wind, the bomb was the right technique over the feeder. So we're just playing this one. There's slightly better fish now by the looks of it. So just taking my time with this one, trying not to bully it, don't want to rush it in. It's only giving me my second fish. And like I say, from the angle on my left and my right, no one's really running away with it at the moment on this particular bank. Apart from the angler 2 doors up who's on the end peg as well. Quite a good peg when it wants to be, and he's doing quite well at the moment. In fact, that particular angler is also doing quite well overall on this league. But we get him in, get this one netted. Like I say, slightly better fish. Looks like we got ourselves one around that sort of 5-6 pound mark. I'm going to get the hook out and just show you guys this one as well. There we go, nice fish. Can't see it fully because of the angle of the camera, but there we go. And we get that one in the net. So the wind is really picking up even more now. You can probably hear it on the mic of the camera. But we're back out again. Throwing the bomb out at 30 metres. Sink the line. And wait for our next fish. So the angle on my right, I could hear him now at this point splashing around. He's got another carp on, so he's definitely got 2 carp. He might even have 3 at this point. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I know at this point he was hooking into another fish and landing one. So and also the angle on my left, he'd also picked off a couple of fish on the bomb. I think he'd kept an eye on me, knew I was catching on the bomb. He went out and he also started catching on it as well. So like I say, this venue, these pegs as well, especially these pegs on this venue, can be good bomb pegs. But there we go, we'll get another take and we're into our next carp. Again, as usual, I'm just taking my time with this. It's only our 3rd one. But it looks like we've got another decent fish on. So I'm just going to quickly jump ahead a little bit. Let's get to the netting stage. There we go. About to get his head up. There we go, we got him this time. So straight back out again. This time I had to go and put my jumper on. The wind picked up even more and the temperature was dropping. Felt like I was going to get a bit of rain. You can see the camera's being blown around by the wind, but there we go, get another take. So I had a nice little run now on this bomb line. Started getting the bites, started catching some fish. Like I say, we're well over 2 hours into the match. I've been catapulting the 8 mils in it over on this line. If you might remember me saying at the beginning, this venue, you normally have to prime this line for about 2 hours, and we're well over that 2 hour mark, and the carp are clearly come and settled on it. And that's just the way it is. Every venue's different, but that's how this venue behaves, and that's how the carp tend to feed. So we're going to get this one in. There we go, get him netted. So I think I had 2 more casts on the on that bomb line with an 8 mil pellet on. I didn't get any more takes, so I decided just to swap it up, and I've just gone and put hair rigged a bunch of worms on. Something just slightly different. Hopefully it might stand out and trigger a bite. Fishing worm is not something I tend to have an awful lot of luck with when I'm fishing the bomb, or even any line in fact, unless it's the head of a worm on the pole or something. Maybe in the winter you tend to sometimes pick off a fish. But we're also going to catapult some 8 mils over the top. So as usual, always 2 lots. So I believe it was about 5 or 6 minutes had gone by before I was going to get the next bite, but there we go, look, tick went round and I get the next fish on. And this, like I say, this came on hair rigged worm. So the size of this one was pretty much similar to the others. Just going to jump ahead a little bit, get to the netting stage. So just taking my time. I never bully the fish. Always try and take my time with these. There we go. Get him in the landing net. And we have another carp. So I've just gone and got my jacket on. It's now starting to rain. Also the temperature's dropped again and probably another degree. It's getting a little bit cold. I mean, we only are into the sort of back end of August on this particular match, but the weather did take a bit of a turn on this weekend. So I did go on the margin just for about 10 minutes. I needed to have a little look on the margin. There was 30 minutes left of the match, so I went on the margin to see if I could catch a carp, but nothing showed in the first 10 minutes. Other anglers were catching, but I didn't get any indication, so I decided not to waste any time and go back out on that bomb line. So there's probably now 20 minutes left of the match. I had feeding fish on this bomb line, so I probably should never have come off it in the first place, but I had to give that margin a go just to see if there's any fish come in there and settled in that, and I'd have known really in the first 10 minutes. But back out on the bomb line, and it didn't take long. Look, it was only a few minutes went by, and the tip went round, and we get well, basically it was our last carp of the match. Now this was a big fish. It took quite a bit of time to get in. So guys, while I'm playing this, I'm just going to give you a very quick summary of my match. So I ended up catching 59 pounds and 12 ounces. I started off on that feeder line over by the island. I didn't get any indications. I then came a little bit shorter on the bomb line at 30 metres. Picked off a couple of carp. Tried shallow as well. But there was nothing there. I did get a carp swim through, but there was no takes on that shallow line. But all the fish came on the bomb line, fishing at 30 metres with an 8mm pellet. And I did get carp as well, also with a hair-rigged bunch of worms. But mainly all on pellet. But like I say, this is a big fish. It was trying to get round those reeds on the right, and also at one point it was trying to get in those reeds on the left. But like I say, I ended up catching 59 pounds and 12 ounces. I did frame on the day. I got a section win. I was hoping to try and get top 3. I hadn't had very good performance throughout my summer league, as you know if you've been watching my videos. Been drawing some really bad pegs and not getting particularly many points on the league. But I did frame, like I say, I got a section win, so I was quite happy with that. But overall, for my summer league, I didn't do very well. As I say, I didn't have some very good draws at the beginning and got some low points. So I was quite at the bottom of the league, so not the best performance throughout the summer. But guys, that's the way it goes. Hopefully your summer leagues have done much better than me. But we're just going to jump ahead a little bit and get this one in and hopefully show you guys my last fish of my summer league. There is one more match of my summer league, but unfortunately I'm not fishing it. But it won't make any difference to the overall league points anyway. But I do have a stand-in on that match. But there we go, look, we get this one in. Bit of a lump. This one was probably about 8 pounds. There we go, look. And we're just going to get him out of the net and just hold him up for you guys. Like I say, this is my last fish of my summer league. Nice way to end the day. Nice fish. There, look at that. Beautiful fish. And we get him in the net. Guys, that's how it's gone. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed all my my summer league fishing videos as well. If you haven't already, please do go and subscribe to my channel. It is free and it's easy and it only takes 2 seconds. It helps me out more than you know. Also, don't forget to drop the video a like. And if you can spare 10 seconds at the end, please do leave a comment on this video. Let me know how your fishing is going. Let me know how your summer league has gone. Hopefully you've done better than me overall. But guys, hopefully you've enjoyed them. Until next time, tight lines. And I'll see you on the next video.